Welcome to Let's Talk Football with me, Chris.
And me, Richard.
The podcast bringing you the latest in football news. Every week we discuss all the big talking points in the world of football and preview all the action in the week to come.
In this week's podcast, the Lionesses make history, becoming the first England team to win a major tournament since 1966. With the new Premier League season starting this weekend, we look at how each club are looking ahead of the new season. And as we head into the last month of the transfer window, we look at all the big moves that may or may not take place.
Well, with all that, to start off the new season here at Let's Talk Football, let's talk football. Well, hello, everybody. And
Hi,
welcome.
everybody.
Welcome, firstly, to newbies. You may now find us on YouTube.
I'm waving to the camera.
So yeah, you wave at the camera. Hi, everybody on YouTube. So if you'd like to go and subscribe to us on YouTube, please head over to Let's Talk Football on YouTube. We will put a link somewhere.
Yeah, we'll find somewhere to put a link.
We'll find somewhere to put a link until at such a time where we have 100 subscribers and get all of the links.
Oh, the URL.
URL. Special times. So yeah, but we must first start off by saying welcome back to our second season.
Yeah, they renewed our contract.
I'll say yes, definitely they. Not just us sitting around going, why don't we do something? So no, it's good to be back. We've got lots of football to look forward to this season.
We have, yeah.
And we've had some great football over the summer in the form of the Lionesses, who have absolutely smashed this summer. What a time for that team and for women's football in England.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think in Europe too, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's been good.
Yeah, certainly people will have sat up and taken notice.
Absolutely. It was a great game. Let's talk about the game on Sunday firstly. What a game.
Yeah.
It makes me very proud to know that, the Man United girls have contributed heavily to the success of the Lionesses.
That took you about 2.5 minutes to mention Manchester United.
Mary Earps, England's number one, for a reason. Smashed it. She had a save, right? I can't remember which game it was in. I think it was in the Sweden game, where it reminded me of David Seaman getting lobbed by Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
And she got there, and she got to it like David Seaman couldn't.
Right, with you.
And I was just like, oh no. I was like, I watched the ball go over, and I thought, oh no, it's David Seaman all over again. But she got to it, and it was perfect. So that was good. Dear. And then Alessa Russo, with the audacity of the back heel in the semi-final.
That was a great finish.
I'm pretty sure her coach will be like, you should have put the first one away.
Yes, definitely.
Because, she did have a good chance. And I'm sure her coach will be like, you should have scored the first one.
And then just to backheel it in is just like...
Yeah, just to cheat, the audacity just to do that was just to like, bunk. And then just the embarrassment, because the goalkeeper's just not expecting it. It just goes straight through her legs, and you just know that that's red face forever. Red face forever. And then, of course, Ella Toon also got us back into the game against Spain.
Yeah. And
then she lobbed the goalie in a final at Wembley.
I mean, that was an amazing moment. Yeah.
It was so special. And the fact that, I don't know if you've seen like the reverse angle. You just see the look of composure.
She knows it's going in as soon as she knows it's going in.
Yeah. But it was the composure before it. It seemed like she just went ice cold.
Yeah.
As the ball came to her, and she just lobbed it, and it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful moment. But I guess we ought to mention the match winner as well.
Yeah, definitely.
What a little toe poke from Kelly there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you have to be in those positions to win the game.
That's why she was there. She was there for that, for the knockdown, and to prod around and be a nuisance.
Yeah, obviously.
And then I don't know if you've seen the picture that they took of her when she was swinging the shirt around her head.
No.
And they caught a perfect moment of it where the back of her name is just there. It just says Kelly. As she's swinging the shirt over her head. So that's a special picture. I'm sure she'll have signed and put up places.
Definitely.
Everywhere, forever.
What a moment.
Forever. Sports Personality Team of the Year is on lockdown.
I mean, Team of the Year, Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
We can stop the count.
Yeah, no, it's still going to happen. And I'm sure one of them will probably end up winning Sports Personality of the Year as well.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
depending on who gets nominated for it. But it'll be one of them.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure. But what a moment. And hopefully this is the start of something special for women's football in England. And just to note as well, you know, I saw all the celebrations in Trafalgar Square, which was great the next day. I watched that back. I was at work, so I had to watch it when I got home, that was fantastic to see. But then also in Germany, the German team got a good welcome when they got home too.
Yeah, as they should. Obviously, they did very well in the tournament as well.
So hopefully it's a start of things and people can get themselves down to some WSL games and or the championship, the Women's Championship League, or whatever. What's the second division called there again?
WSL 2, I think it's called.
Okay, so get yourself down to some games. There's plenty to go and watch around. And
they're obviously going to have games at bigger stadiums as well. Obviously, our ladies are playing Manchester United, I think it's September the 12th, at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That might be
That's
quite
good.
Nice
the Man United women's team have played. They've only played once at Old Trafford.
But I would imagine it's probably going to be a more common thing. Obviously, it depends. Obviously, it depends on the size of the stadium. It depends on the match they're playing.
Yeah.
But it'll be a good thing to see them.
It's a growth. It's a growth part now, isn't it? And it's about what happens with it, and it's not just that. It's at the grassroots level and how you take this forward, because there's going to be thousands of girls who are in the stadium, let alone watching at home. You know,
I want to go and do that.
I want to do that. That's what I want to do, and that was the point really. That's what we were looking. That's what everyone was looking to get.
That's the catalyst.
Hopefully that is the start of it now, and we love to see it.
We do.
So yeah, congratulations to the Lionesses. Right. So, also very exciting. Premier League's back this weekend.
Ha ha! Hooray!
Yes, it is. So, as we did last season, I think we need to have a little bit of a state of play with each of the clubs and see where we think everybody's at. We might as well go alphabetical.
Yeah, alphabetical is easier.
Alphabetical is easier, and it's what I've got my list in.
Yep.
In front of me. So it does help. It does help. Right, so Arsenal are normally number one.
Yep.
They've had a good pre-season.
Yeah, they have.
They've brought some good players. They brought in Jesus from City.
Yep.
They brought in Zinchenko.
Yep.
To give them competition and probably some cover, or if not,
it will definitely be
some
cover
competition
for
Kieran
Tierney. Yeah, definitely.
If he's injured all the time. They brought Fabio Vieira for 34 million. That one. But obviously their big marquee signing so far this summer has been Gabriel Jesus, 45 mil from Man City, and he's had a good start in pre-season. He's been in amongst the goals in pre-season.
Yep. He's he's obviously done what he needs to do. Yeah.
Off to a good start, and I think Arsenal Arteta will be quite happy with where he's at. I think, they gave Chelsea a bit of a battering, didn't they?
Yeah.
In the game in pre-season, but obviously, you read what you will into that. It's pre-season.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's a fitness exercise, isn't it? Pre-season. The results are kind of secondary.
Yeah, but Tuchel wasn't very happy, I think, with the performance that they put in anyway.
Very funny to see him very unhappy.
Yeah, he wasn't happy at all with him. He wasn't happy at all. But Arsenal are in a good spot where they would probably like to improve. Would they like a bit of extra defensive cover, maybe?
Yeah, certainly missing a centre back from that list, aren't they?
Yeah, but we say that. I think I've said the same about Arsenal for the last 10 years, to be honest.
So they brought in Ben White last summer, didn't they? So
yeah, they brought in Ben White last year, and obviously they've got Ben White and Gabriel.
Yeah.
But do they want
beyond
something
that,
else?
Yeah.
To kind of help them out, really.
Yeah.
They've brought, obviously up front, they're probably looking okay. They've brought in Jesus. They brought in, the young Marquinhos.
Yep.
So it should be quite helpful to them. Midfield, that's where Fabio, Vieira in midfield for Arsenal.
Yeah.
That normally goes well.
They probably didn't pay that much money for Patrick Vieira, but I suppose in today's money, Patrick Vieira was probably about the same price.
Maybe. So and they've got rid of some players that probably weren't going to be featuring as much, or Arteta didn't fancy as much. So Guendouzi's out the ground.
Yeah.
Nuno Tavares has also gone off on loan. And obviously,
Lacazette's off the wage bill.
Lacazette's gone back to Lyon, of course, as well.
Yeah.
So
it's annoyingly good
names.
business from Arsenal so far.
Yeah, they've done very well. They've done very well, and I think now they're in for a decent season. But it's Arsenal, and they might do something very Arsenal.
Might shoot themselves in the foot like they did last season.
Absolutely.
We can only hope.
Well, you can only hope.
I can only hope.
But we'll see how they get on. But I'm sure Arsenal Fan TV will still be the special case that it always is.
Mate, someone has already said they're going to win the quadruple.
That was Ty, wasn't it?
I don't know. Some man did it.
It was Ty. I'm sure it was
Ty. I fell
Ty.
off my chair laughing.
It is in his hat outside the stadium after a friendly, I think. He's the ultimate optimist, is Ty. Bless him.
I mean, yeah.
He's like his glasses are so rose tinted you can't see anything through them. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Right, Aston Villa then.
Aston Villa signings.
Yeah, done some good stuff. Obviously, they've made Coutinho permanent.
17 million for Coutinho.
Yeah, easy money.
Yeah,
take that all day, don't you?
Yeah,
you'll have that, and Barca obviously have their issues.
Yeah, they really do.
We'll get onto that probably a little bit later. Yeah. Diego Carlos, brought in from Sevilla.
Yeah.
Who played in the game against United pre-season, looked very solid as a defender.
Yeah. Obviously, Kamara's a good one on a free transfer.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll offer something for him.
And again, Robin Olsen, that's a permanent deal from last year.
Yeah.
So I expect Villa will do more. I think they've let a young player go to Chelsea, or they're in the midst of letting one of their younger players go to Chelsea.
Okay.
Chukwuemeka?
Oh, yeah.
Him. The one I can never pronounce. I can never pronounce that man's name.
But yeah, I mean, they have let a few players go as well, Villa. You know, Wesley's left. Matt Target, obviously, has gone to Newcastle. Trezeguet's gone to Turkey.
It's definitely the churning of a squad from one manager to another, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and he's brought in Rory Wilson from Rangers as well, Steven Gerrard, so obviously fancies him somewhat, as well as bringing in Augustinson from Sevilla on loan.
Obviously, there's still a month left of the window, so still plenty of time.
There might be some more move, and I think, you know, given that there's more games between now and the end of the transfer window this time around, I think you'll find a lot of clubs will be like, won't be panicking so much because they can play a couple games, see where they're at, and then see exactly where they need to prioritise going in if they haven't already worked it out, and they'll be working on some deals. But I imagine there'll be quite a bit of movement towards the end of this month, as there always is. There always is, but there's more time, more games for a manager to see exactly what he needs. So Villa, I think they'll have not a good season. I think they'll stick themselves. You know, they'll be pushing for that top 8, really, won't they? That'll be their goal.
But they'll probably be comfortable mid-table.
Yeah, they'll be wanting to mix it higher up the league this season. You know, it is difficult though, because when you look at quote unquote the top 6, it's difficult to break into that. Yeah. West Ham have managed it. You know, to be in and amongst it. Leicester had it the year before when they were in and amongst that. So, you know, Villa will be hoping that they can be one of those teams at this point, I think, in their development since they've come back into the league.
It just depends on how they start, really.
Absolutely. But we'll see what happens with that one. But I think they'll have a decent season. They'll be pushing for Europe, I think. And that's got to be Villa. And why not have a go at one of the cups proper? Yeah. You know, if you find yourself in January you're more than safe in the league, or if you're not quite in that European fight, go and get yourself a cup. Give the fans something to celebrate. But we'll see how that goes on as well. Right, moving on to the first newcomer in our list. Yep. Well, newcomer, re-entry.
Re-entry at number 20, perhaps?
Yeah, a re-entry at number 20. Bournemouth, AFC Bournemouth are back in. Yep. They've done some steady business, really.
Yeah, they definitely need some more bodies.
They probably need a bit more quality, I think, in their squad. They've brought in Marcus Tavernier from Middlesbrough for 12.5 mil. Joe Rothwell's come from Blackburn on a free, and then they've brought in Ryan Fredericks from West Ham on a free. So they probably need to do a bit more, Bournemouth.
Yeah, Scott Parker has already said he's not very happy with what they've done so far.
Yeah.
That was before they signed Tavernier. So,
yeah. They need to work on it. I think, you know, they'll need something up front.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously they've got a couple of decent players in that squad. So they've got Ryan Christie, who was at Celtic.
Yep, they have got the good players. The issue is have they got the Premier League quality, and that's what we're going to find out, really, because I don't think that squad's full of Premier League quality.
No, but it's going back to what you were saying about Aston Villa. Obviously, they're probably just going to gauge where they are first couple of weeks, and they go, right, we need this, and this.
They'll definitely need a bigger squad, I would think, than what they have got.
I'm surprised they released Gary Cahill, to be honest. I thought that would have been all right. He's probably not a starter each week in the Premier League, but he's certainly got the experience.
Absolutely, he does have that experience, but maybe that was his decision,
maybe,
and what he wants to do. So, but yeah, I think Bournemouth are going to struggle if they stay in the league. That'll be a success for them.
Definitely,
but I think they're going to struggle given what they've done so far in the transfer window. It's gonna be a hard season for Bournemouth fans, unfortunately. Brentford then, who have been busy.
Yeah, some very decent players brought in. Yeah.
Yeah. Aaron Hickey from Bologna. They've brought in Keane Lewis Potter from Hull for £20 million.
I love Keane Lewis Potter. I can't wait to see how he copes in the Premier League.
I hope he does well, but 20 million is quite an investment from a player that's not proven in the Premier League, considering what other teams have paid for players that are probably slightly higher quality.
Yeah.
From bigger, pride away from bigger clubs.
But it's Brentford's kind of philosophy, isn't it? That they do go down into the lower leagues and they do bring players with them.
Yeah. And I don't necessarily... I definitely don't have a problem with that. I just think that fee is quite a bit.
It is a lot of money. I doubt they're playing that up front. I would have thought that would be broken down into sort of, maybe 10 million to start with, or 15 million to start with, and then the rest is add-ons. But yeah,
and then
if it works out, it's going to be a great signing for them.
Yeah, but in the context, then you add that they've brought in Lisby from Watford, Rakosha from Lazio, and then Ben Mee, and they brought all them in for free.
Yeah, exactly.
Extra numbers in the squad. Obviously, Ben Mee, we know is a quality player, who can probably walk straight into that Brentford team.
Yeah.
The other two, I'll be honest, I don't know that much about.
No. See, Strakowski is a good one as well, goalkeeper.
Yeah.
The backup for David Raya, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Unless anything's going to happen to him, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, we shall see. Brentford, again, they'll probably, I think, given their business, they'll probably, again, be looking just to stay in the league this year.
Yeah, you would. 15th upwards will probably be very happy.
Yeah, what they've done, it's not like a step in quality of player. They've brought solid footballers.
Yeah.
Obviously taking a chance on Keane Lewis Potter. And,
well, they're in for Damsgaard as well, the Danish kid.
Mm-hmm.
Which might be an interesting... Obviously, that's kind of their Christian Ericsson replacement after he left in the summer.
Yeah, so if they can get that one over the line, that adds a bit more quality, doesn't it, to their midfield?
Definitely. They
haven't really lost anybody, really, have they, other than Christian Ericsson?
Yeah. No, nobody's really gone out that you would have said, oh, that's a surprise. They've let them go. Yeah.
Keeping on to Ivan Toney, I think, would be quite important for Brentford.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So, yeah, hopefully they'll have another decent season. So let's move on to Brighton then, who are probably in the same sort of boat as Brentford for me. I mean, they had a very good season last year, but they have lost a couple of players now.
Yeah, obviously they've lost Basuma. Yeah.
Yeah, Basuma's gone to Tottenham. Ostergaard's gone to Napoli.
They are potentially going to lose Cucurella as well.
Cucurella is kicking off and wants to leave and has put in transfer requests. So.
But the good thing for Brighton and the good thing about Brighton is they will find a gem. Obviously, Cucurella is a perfect example of that. Only came in last summer. They bought him for what, 10 million, I think it was?
Yeah.
They're going to sell him for 60. Yeah.
Exactly. So, are they becoming the new Southampton?
Yes, potentially.
They find the players to give them a chance to prove themselves, and then off they go.
But same again for Brighton, the same for Brentford. If they're sort of around 15th, sort of that 12th to 15th mark.
Yeah, they'll be looking to just to stay in the league. I mean, they've brought a couple in. Again, these are players that I don't really know much about. Julio, Enciso.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if I'm saying these names right.
Adingra. You're having a go.
I'm having a go. And then Baker Boete from Porto.
I'm just sitting here listening to you.
So. Yeah, just listen to it. It's fine. Porto, player, undisclosed. So yeah, I mean, again, if these are fine, because they have a knack of finding a player, don't they? So if these all work out for them like they have done in the past, then and they normally do their homework very well at Brighton. So I'm sure I look forward to seeing them and seeing if we get a new star in the league. So that's Brighton. Off to Chelsea then. Now Chelsea obviously were trying to close that gap to Liverpool and City.
Yep.
I think they're probably a little bit short at the moment in terms of what they've done.
Yeah, they're definitely going to need 3 or 4 more. I think Chelsea.
I think they need it. I would say at least 2 more. I think they need someone to go through the middle.
Yeah.
Up top. Obviously they lost Lukaku, but he wasn't really that much of a help to him last season after the first month.
Mm-hmm.
So, they need someone to come in there. Timo Werner's not clicked at all in his last couple of years.
It sounds like he's going to leave as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. So Havertz is the man that they're going to rely on through the middle. Other than that, then you're relying on maybe moving Sterling in, obviously.
Well, I think that's what they potentially
around.
Might do. They might just play with the 3 and sort of let them interchange between the 3 of them. I don't think that'd be a bad shout.
Yeah, that's really what they've got to be aiming for. I think it's going to be that kind of movement. But, we'll see if they do go out for another forward. Yeah. I personally think they need one. Obviously, they've lost 2 quality defenders in Christensen and Rudiger.
Yeah.
They've brought in Koulibaly from Napoli, who's been linked with Premier League clubs for the last 5 or 6 transfer windows.
It does seem like a long time.
Yeah, I think so. He's coming through, but I think they need another centre-back because they play 3 at the back quite a lot.
They do.
Obviously, they've got Trevor Chalobah, who's proven himself, and obviously Azpilicueta has been playing in that back 3, but he's apparently not happy at the club and wants to leave. So, they need to look at that, and obviously they lost out on Koundé.
Yes.
So they will be looking, I think, to do that. I think elsewhere they'll probably be all right. I think they've been, obviously, is it Cucurella's
the one
that's looking at Chelsea, isn't he?
Yeah. It's looking like it's going to be Chelsea now.
So that gives them extra cover for Reece James.
Yeah.
Down the right-hand side. Down the left, I think Marcus Alonso is kicking off, so they might want to go in the market for another left wing-back.
Yeah, obviously Cucurella can play on the left-hand side as well.
Yeah, so that'll add extra cover there. But with Ben Chilwell, will be coming back from his big injury.
Cucurella,
yeah, that's good.
Do you really need Marcus Alonso?
Well, no, and I think he wants to leave. I think, by all accounts, there's some unhappiness within that Chelsea dressing room in pre-season.
Yeah.
And that'll be their biggest challenge early doors in the season to make sure that kind of
doesn't get out of control. It's a big job for Thomas Tuchel now.
It is.
Obviously, the takeover's happened. Obviously, that was upheaval in itself. Obviously, as you mentioned, they've lost 2 big players because of that upheaval. I don't necessarily think Rudiger would have gone if there had been a stable environment there for him to get a contract deal done.
I don't think. I think Rudiger was always looking for that move out, and I think once that deal with Madrid was on the table,
maybe.
And I think the same for Christensen as well. His agent from January would have been going out there and looking, because you got to remember the issues with the issues with Roman Abramovich didn't really happen until February, did it?
No.
When things happened when Russia invaded Ukraine.
Yeah.
So that was when that happened. So all of this would have been, you know what I mean? They're already getting into their last 6 months of their contract at this point, those 2. So they were probably already looking for the moves out. And then obviously Lukaku's gone back to Inter Milan on loan. Inter Milan laughing in the face of Chelsea.
They cannot believe their luck.
Has gone, thank you for all your money. Yeah, we'll have the player back for a year. Yeah, thanks.
And then probably sign him for half the price next time.
Exactly. The usual loan outs as well going on at Chelsea. But of course, the big loss, I think, for Chelsea this season is Danny Drinkwater's been released.
Oh, no.
No one's seen him for 3 years, but apparently he's on the market now. And to be honest, I think there's a player there for a good Premier League side to pick up in Danny Drinkwater.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah.
Wasted his time at Chelsea.
Yeah.
And even he admits that.
Exactly. So I think, I'm sure hopefully there'll be a few options for Danny. He'll probably come close to the end of the window, I think, once other options maybe start to dissipate for clubs, and they go, well, there's a free player right there that we can go for. I would be surprised if there hasn't been a few offers on the table for him that he's thinking about, at least. I wouldn't think.
Yeah, you would think so.
Instrumental in that Leicester team that won the league.
Don't remind me.
Crystal Palace then. They've done a bit of business. They've brought in Chris Richards from Bayern Munich, a young American. Sam Johnson's come from West Brom on a free. Czech Decore, I think he's their big signing this summer.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a
From
monster.
Lens.
Yeah.
£21 million. I'm sure he will do a fantastic job for them. Yeah, I think there's a lot to look forward to.
Again, it's a bit the same as what we were talking about with Arsenal. Obviously, they're now into the second season under Patrick Vieira. They're trying to sort of still shift the players that were there. Obviously, Martin Kelly's gone. Kouyate's gone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Patrick Vieira is now becoming Patrick Vieira's team.
But he's starting to mould it, isn't he? And
Yes,
get what he wants
yeah.
in, for sure. Obviously, we need to see how the new signings settle in.
Yeah. Will they struggle to score goals,
important.
Crystal Palace? Potentially.
Maybe, but I mean, they've still got Wilf Zaha.
They've still got
still
Wilf.
around.
They've still got Edwards.
Edwards done well for him. Benteke is.
Yeah, Benteke's still around.
He's still around, and he has found a few goals. Not what you'd want from a centre forward, week in, week
But
out.
enough to keep him ticking over.
Yeah. So Crystal Palace will be looking again. They're ones that I think they'll be pushing for a top 10 finish. I think Palace. I think that's kind of what they'll be looking for. But again, you know, that mid-table fight, I think they'll probably be okay, Palace. But you never know. They could be a side that get dragged into it.
Maybe. Yeah.
But we shall see how the season pans out for them. Right, Everton. I worry about Everton.
So do I.
I think they need to do a bit more business. I think Frank has been left a bit stranded this summer, if I'm honest, so far.
So far. Obviously, Dwight McNeil's a decent signing.
Yeah, they've brought in Dwight McNeil. They've brought in Tarkowski, who will definitely help their defence out.
Yeah.
But I don't see the quality. They've lost Richarlison.
Yeah.
Sold Richarlison. They got that £60 million. And if I'm an Everton fan, I'm going, where's that £60 million gone? Reinvested in the team much. I mean, if you've paid $60 million for Dwight McNeil, and that's why it's undisclosed, you've been robbed.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think we've given them 60 million yet.
Yeah, but I know, you know what I mean. Like that's how fans will be looking at it though. Fans will go, right, you've sold Richarlison for 60 mil. Where's the replacements? Where's the quality? They haven't signed quality, I don't think.
No.
You know, Dwight McNeil's a good player.
Didn't score a goal in the Premier League last season.
Yeah, he's not top notch, is he? You know, Tarkowski at 100% is a very, very, very good defender and will help them defensively.
If they get the Dwight McNeil of sort of 2-3 seasons ago, maybe.
Maybe, but I mean, you can't rely on that.
No. It's the same with the Dele Alli thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
if they get the Dele Alli of the 2-3 seasons ago, they're laughing.
Well, that's it. Everton are a huge football team, and they should be able to attract better players than what they have so far. I mean, Vinagre from Sporting Lisbon's been brought in on loan.
Yeah.
I don't know much about him as a defender, but there's nothing. I think they need quality in their midfield. They need quality in their wing positions, and they need quality in their strike force.
Yeah.
And they haven't done any of those
Calvert
things.
Lewin.
Yes, Calvert Lewin, and obviously he had a tricky time last season.
Yeah.
But they need more. They need more.
They definitely do, otherwise they're going to have another season like they had last year. And I don't necessarily think they'll get out of it this time.
I think they will struggle. It'll only be if there are 3 clubs worse than them.
Which potentially there will be.
Yeah. You know, tactically they might be a bit better having had the pre-season under Frank.
Yeah.
But, you know, they've still got the core of that squad is still there. But they've lost their most, you know, their best footballer.
Probably their most influential player. Yeah.
Yeah, in Richarlison. I was looking at the outlists of Everton, and I did come across an Astley. And I thought for a second I was going to read Rick Astley, but it was Ryan Astley.
Yeah, he's gone to Accrington
on loan. He's gone to Accrington on loan. Who are they?
Exactly.
Next in your alphabetical list should be Fulham.
Yep, it is Fulham.
Who this time have seemed to have gone out and spent a bit of money.
Yeah.
Which they didn't do the last couple of times they've been in the league. But again, are they bringing in quality? You know, the first person I've seen on the list is Callum McFarlane from Bradfield College, and he was bought on a free. But again, that might be someone for the future. I don't know anything about him. First big money sign. Well, their big money signing really is João Palhinha from Sporting Lisbon. £20 million on them, and they'll be looking to get something out of a midfielder. They're looking at the way that Fulham have been playing. Marco Silva will be looking to get a bit more quality out of this into his midfield to cope with the rigours of the Premier League. Yeah, he played very regularly. He played 33 games last season for Sporting.
But are they just happy yo-yoing Fulham, do you think?
I think this is the change, and I think this is why they've gone out and they've spent more money this time than they did last time. I'm sure they have.
Yeah.
So, they look to be, this is the investment. And Babu from Wolfsburg as well, who's a decent footballer. He brought, then they've got a couple of other loans on. They brought in Solomon from Shakhtar Donetsk on loan. And then they've brought Andreas Pereira from Manchester United, who's left Manchester United after about 10 years of being on loan somewhere or other. The thing is about Pereira, as a United fan, you could see he's a very tidy footballer.
Yeah.
He'll get on the ball and he'll get amongst people, but he never quite had that level of quality that you'd needed at the top end of the Premier League. But I think he'll do a very good job with Fulham.
I agree. Yeah.
I think he'll do a good job for Fulham. Obviously, they lost Carvalho.
Yeah. He's
gone to Liverpool. So that might leave him a bit short in the wide areas.
Yeah, creatively, they've lost a very big asset. Yeah.
Absolutely. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on there. And obviously, Anguissa's gone to Napoli as well, who some Fulham fans might see as a bit of a loss. But, they have tried to bring in a bit more. They have tried to bring people in, I think, with extra quality. But what they can bring, we'll have to see. And obviously, that's the exciting bit about the start of the Premier League season. You're getting all your new players, you have that optimism, and then the inevitable disappointment happens.
We haven't got to Manchester United yet, though.
No, we haven't
yet.
Let's
move on to Leeds, shall we?
Leeds, Tyler Adams from Leipzig for 20 million. Big signing, big money signing. Leeds have been spending money. They've spent 25 million.
Yeah, but they've had a lot of money come in as well. So
Ericsson, brought a young kid in from City. They brought Rasmus Christensen in from Red Bull Salzburg. They've been raiding Salzburg.
Yeah.
Given Salzburg 35 million quid this summer so far between Aronson and Christensen. Mark Rocker's come in from Bayern Munich for 10 mil, and then Sinisterra's come from Feyenoord for another 25 mil. So they've been spending their money.
They have.
They've been investing. Now they'll just be hoping that they can turn this into results on the pitch, and this is Jesse Marsh's chance to do that.
Yeah.
Obviously, they've lost two massive players in Rafinha and Calvin Phillips.
Definitely. Yeah.
Massive players, and obviously a few people. I think Tyler Roberts has now left the club on loan. He was a bit part player, but he was in the squad.
Yeah.
So it'd be very interesting, I think, to see.
Hopefully their injuries are better this time around, because they had a horrendous injury list last year.
Yeah, they did have some bad luck with injuries last year. But it will be about how these new players settle in, because they have gone big, Leeds.
Yeah.
In replacements. Yes, they brought in 105 million, and they've probably spent just around that number so far. So, it's not a big outlay.
I'm expecting mid-table from Leeds, though.
Yeah. I think so. I think they were very, very close to going down, but I think there will be teams that are worse in the league. But again, it'll depend on how the new players settle in.
Yeah, definitely.
And if they can pick things up and get going in the Premier League. So yeah, we'll see how Leeds get on. Leicester.
We need to talk about Leicester.
Nothing.
They've done nothing.
They've done absolutely nothing except sell their goalkeeper. I don't know what's going on. They need some players. They've turned down the bids for Maddison.
Yeah. Newcastle will be back, I should imagine. For Maddison.
I imagine that they will be, but Leicester I don't know what's going on at Leicester.
No.
They might struggle this year if they don't move on.
I think they will if they don't invest, or they don't certainly don't buy a couple of players. Yeah. That squad is... Yeah. Well,
you've got to remember there is still quality in that Leicester team. Let's not forget that there is still quality in that Leicester team.
Yeah, obviously.
But for where they were and what they were looking to do, they haven't done anything to move them forward this year.
No.
So they could see themselves dropping down into that mid-table area.
Definitely.
The way it's been for them. Right then, Liverpool runners-up last year, of course. They've brought in 3 players so far. Young Scottish kid, Calvin Ramsey. coming from Aberdeen. And obviously Carvalho from Fulham, but their big money signing was Darwin Núñez from Benfica. Now, obviously, Núñez in the Community Shield game showed up.
Yep.
Helped Liverpool win that first game of the season to show that actually this season we're still going to have... these are still the two teams.
It's definitely going to be just between the two of them at the top again.
These are the two teams. They've still got the quality in there. Yes, they lost Mane, but they'd already got the replacement for Mane in Diaz. They've got Carvalho now, who kind of comes into that squad in that area of the field. Big changes. Obviously, Origi's now gone as well. He's gone to Milan.
Yeah.
Neco Williams has gone to Notts Forest.
Well, mate, Minamino's gone.
Minamino, who was in the goals, but he scored some quite, I thought, important goals at important times to give Liverpool that chance of their quadruple. Has gone to Monaco, 15.5 million.
Gone. Yeah.
But I think, probably the time is probably right for him.
Yeah.
Give it a go. But I think the biggest disappointment to Liverpool fans, obviously, was the sale of one of their best players.
Yeah.
Their sale, Loris Karius got released.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that'll be a big loss to Liverpool in Champions League finals going forward.
Very much tongue-in-cheek.
And then the champions are up next, Manchester City. Obviously, the big deal, which we already talked about at the end of last season, was Erling Haaland.
Yeah.
Who, for some reason, has been slated because he missed, a couple of chances in the Community Shield game.
Yeah. Some people might be eating their words.
Don't be silly. This is Erling Haaland. Don't you worry. He will find the back of the net.
Yeah.
And you will look like a fool.
Yes. As soon as they get the supply to him, they're going to stop him.
It's going to be, if he's going, which is why I'm really surprised they let Sterling go.
Yeah.
I thought Sterling would be perfect for Haaland.
Yeah. Perfect for him.
Having much like a relationship that Sterling has with Kane for England.
Yeah.
That could have been the relationship that him and Haaland had at City.
Puts a lot of pressure on Jack Grealish as well.
Well, it does, but that's what he should want, really. He should be thriving. He should be thriving off of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We still don't know if Bernardo Silva's going to leave.
Yeah. Apparently Barcelona are interested in him, aren't they?
Barcelona are interested, but also he's kind of been on the edge of leaving the last couple of years, really.
Yes, he has. Yeah.
But he hasn't really had his move. But yeah, they've brought in Calvin Phillips, which, he's a really good player. But if I'm Rodri and I'm seeing Calvin Phillips come in, that's the thing for me. It's like, okay, you've got this real competition in that midfield, but one of them's not going to play as many games as they want to play.
No, but I suppose it's the same as Fernandinho and Rodri, isn't it?
Well, less so with Fernandinho because he was older.
Yeah, but obviously...
So Fernandinho would kind of, okay, I've done this. He was in his mid-30s, and it was kind of like, yeah, okay, the changing of the guard, and Rodri's just coming into himself. Calvin's of a similar age where he's feeling like, I should be at my best. So it'd be interesting to see how Pep deals with that situation.
But maybe City have thought, actually, if we're going to win the big one, in inverted commas, we need to have players that, if you take Rodri out of the team, you put Calvin Phillips in, you don't notice any difference.
Absolutely, but the challenge will be around keeping the players happy when they're not playing as many games as they want to play. That's the challenge, isn't it?
The biggest thing.
So completely from a tactical point of view, I can rest him, and I can put him in, and that's fine. But then you put the people in, the humans, the personalities into that situation, and it changes slightly. So, Calvin Phillips is a good guy. I'm sure he won't kick up a fuss too much, but he won't necessarily be happy about it if he's only played 20 odd games by the end of the season.
Yeah. Seems to be a bit of a changing of the guard at City as well.
Yeah, a little bit. But that's the challenge, isn't it, for Pep to get that rotation in, to create the dynasty, if you like.
Yeah.
Much like Ferguson did when he created his teams after time again. This is the challenge for Pep now that he's not really had before.
No, he's not stayed long enough at a club to do it.
He's not done this, but he did build this City team.
Yeah, and now he's rebuilding it again. Yeah.
And that's the challenge now, isn't it? Can he? Because at Barca he was gifted with Xavi and Iniesta and Messi, and he has. Don't get me wrong, he's probably the best manager in the world right now.
Yeah.
Don't think I'm downing his skill set at all by saying he had all these great players. Yes, he got them playing very well, but he was given the luxury of having them already at the club. And he went to Bayern. That wasn't really going to be a challenge, really. No. Winning that league. But again, he had he had the mind and still the tactics to get it right. At City, he came in and he had to build a squad at City for the first time, really.
Yes. Yeah.
And he did it. He did it. Obviously, he's done it, and he's done it very successfully.
And now he's got
not quite got that Champions League, but he's now that turnover's kind of got to happen, you know. And it's about planning that through. But defensively, they shouldn't move too much, really. No. In the midfield, yes, they've brought in Calvin Phillips, but you've still got the likes of De Bruyne and obviously Rodri and Gundogan. You still got all of them, and then it's up front really. You've brought in Haaland, you've let Jesus go, you've let Sterling go. They might get in. Obviously, Bernardo Silva may go, so they might be in the. They might go back out in the market for another forward.
Yeah, but they'll probably go and get Felix or something like that.
Possibly. But you know, they
Just
might.
put a
They
name
might be
out
looking.
there.
Yeah, because they haven't really spent any money this year.
No, if anything,
Yeah.
they've made money.
They've made money, so
Which is unlike
there's-
Man City.
Absolutely, but that's the model they've been building now for years.
Yeah,
and it's they're starting to get fruition from that. So we'll see how it goes for City, but obviously they'll very much be in the title fight. They'll very much be looking to get hold of that Champions League this year. As much as I hate to say it, I hate saying it, but they are still the team to beat.
Yeah,
and of course Liverpool did beat them at the weekend in the Community Shield, but in these very, very early days to be writing anybody off. Right, here we go then.
Oh God, brace yourselves.
Here we go then. the best team in Manchester, Manchester United.
So for
Still gonna say
City,
it. Still going to back it. Still backing them.
of course you're going to back them.
Obviously, we've got the new manager in. Ten Hag's come in. We've had a good pre-season. I've watched the pre-season games. We're playing better football. Are we there yet? No, of course we're not. It's going to take some time. But there's an identity now, and you can see what we're trying to do. Playing very much in that fashion that Ajax have been playing. We've brought in Christian Ericsson, who I think is going to be a great signing for us. He will add that extra quality in our midfield. You know, there's a bit of discussion around whether he'll play in the two in midfield or as kind of a backup for Bruno. I think he'll play. I think he'll play as one of the two. I think you can do that with him. I think there's no reason why he couldn't do that job for you.
It's not what he's best at. But,
No, but he's going to be better than what we've got in there.
Oh yeah. I mean, him and McTominay together. Yeah.
Yeah. Or Donny's been playing a bit more in pre-season.
Do you know what? I'd completely forgotten about Donny van der Beek.
Yeah, but he hasn't really set the world on fire in pre-season. He's getting,
That doesn't shock me that you've said
It
that.
doesn't. But this is his big chance, wasn't it, to come back with
the
Eric
Ajax
playing.
manager that brought him through anyway.
Exactly. So, it was kind of like, okay, let's see him.
Yeah.
But now there's two managers that have gone by that haven't really fancied him.
Yeah.
And now we're into Eric Ten Hag, and he'll decide what happens with him. So we'll see what happens with Donny this season, and whether he can.
Martinez
do
is
it.
a great signing as well.
He did have. Before we move on from Donny, he did have some good moments. Him and Ericsson were linking up quite well.
Yeah.
In the game against Rayo Vallecano at the weekend, and they had some good little intricate 1-2 passes. I think the issue that Donny's had this pre-season, he's only really played with the kids. I think he's had one half with the main team, so it's hard to tell. But he hasn't really set the world. You haven't looked at the pitch and gone, "Wow, he's the best player on the pitch." Do you know what I mean? So we'll see. And there's a couple of youngsters come through. I think Garnacho's got a great chance of sticking around the first team this year.
Yes, I did see something about that. Yeah,
I'll be interested to see what happens with James Garner this season, whether he sticks around. But again, there are a few players in that area of the pitch now, so he might end up going back out on loan.
I would imagine so. Yeah.
But he played very well. And other players, just real youngsters, just to put on your radar. Zidane Iqbal had a great pre-season, and so did the young Charlie Savage, Robbie Savage's young lad. They've had really good solid pre-seasons for youngsters. They'll probably go out on loan, both of them. I don't think the one temptation would be to keep Zidane. I think.
Yeah.
But I think they both need to go and play some men's football and get built and really build their strength up. I think doing that.
The biggest cloud I think you've got over the club at the minute is what's going to happen with Cristiano.
I think Cristiano Ronaldo is going to end up staying. I think he wanted to go, but I don't think anybody's come up with an offer.
Yeah.
I don't think he leaves. Obviously, he wants to play in the Champions League because of his Champions League records, right?
Yeah.
That's all he's at this point in his career. That's what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to get them, solidify those and extend those records. But I just don't think the opportunity is going to come for him. What he might do is see what happens with the qualifying stages of the Champions League.
Yeah.
And then try and force something through to maybe one of those teams if,
Possibly.
someone gets through to the group stages. But, Chelsea have said no. Bayern have said no. Barca have said hell no. Atletico Madrid's fans put a banner up at the friendly that United had saying CR7's not welcome.
Yeah.
So
Sporting
that's off the
Lisbon seems
cards.
like the biggest option at the minute.
What, sorry?
Sporting Lisbon seems like the biggest option.
Sporting Lisbon's come through again, but are they gonna go, well, yes, it's Cristiano. Can we afford him? I think would be the big issue for Sporting.
Yeah.
Is Ronaldo playing games because there was a clause in his contract about a salary reduction if we didn't make the Champions League?
Possibly.
So is he playing that game? But he come back. He's put out an Instagram saying good to be back. He put that Instagram comment out before the game.
He's saying all the right things,
and he never did this at the other clubs when he left. He never did it. Say Juve is the big example from last year.
Mm-hmm.
He rocked up to that training ground and said, "I'm not playing for you again." Packed his bags and left.
Right.
He hasn't done that this time.
One to keep an eye on, folks.
But 100% one to keep an eye on. 100%. And if he went, we'll see, because Martial's come back and showed good form in pre-season, but will that translate to the season? Rashford looks a bit more confident than he did back end of last season. Sancho's had a good pre-season. So the front three that you could start with have all had a decent pre-season.
Yeah.
But we've been so inconsistent the last few years. You don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to get from them.
No.
Obviously, Lisandro Martinez has come in. I'm very interested to see what we do defensively, because I don't think Eric's bringing Martinez in to sit him on a bench.
No.
So you've got Maguire, who's still getting stick. You've got Varane, and you've got Lindelof. Lindelof is probably the first one that you kind of think he's not going to get many games.
Yeah.
But again, I've never really had a problem with Lindelof. I've always thought he's been fairly solid. Maguire obviously had some mistakes last season, had some confidence issues last season, getting a lot of stick. And I think the fans will be crying out for Varane and Martinez. But even Eric Bailly's had a really good pre-season. He did a step over, ran past Thiago.
Pardon?
He did a step over and ran past Thiago in the friendly against Liverpool. So and he's looked solid. But again, I think he's probably one that's going to look for a move.
That, though.
No, he did. I watched it. And then he ran 40 yards and he ran into the box, and they didn't give him the ball back for him to have his shot. I thought that was bang out of order. I mean, we scored from it, but I thought it was bang out of order. He ran 50 yards. I'm like, just give him the ball, give him a chance. But obviously, United have lost a lot of players, but players that we expected to leave. Really the only real quality you could potentially say is Paul Pogba in terms of quality, but actually, what has he done for the club in the last 5 years? Not a great deal.
No. So
him going to Juventus, probably best for all parties involved there. But we'll see how we get on. I think we want to be in that top four fight. I'd rather be Arsenal, if I'm honest right now. And I don't say that lightly.
Wash your mouth out.
I know.
Jesus.
They've done much more better, but hopefully the manager can make the difference for us.
Do you want to warn me before you're going to say something like that again?
At this point, we need the manager to make the difference.
Okay. Well,
really
fingers crossed, Eric. Good luck, son.
Yeah, good luck with that. Obviously, we start with Brighton at the weekend, so we'll see how that goes. Right then, let's get on to Newcastle, who I think have been very conservative, given what I was expecting, given the takeover last year.
Yeah, you'd be expecting to have done a couple more. Just the three so far?
Yeah, just the three. So Matt Targett's come in permanently. Nick Pope's come across from Burnley. Sven Botman is their big summer signing, centre-back from Lille. And then they brought in Charlie MacArthur from Kilmarnock, which I think will be one for the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, Newcastle, obviously, I think they'll end up probably... They want to be pushing... Depends what they do between now and the end of the window.
Yeah. They want to be pushing for the top 10, don't they?
Yeah, they want to be pushing for Europe at this stage.
I wouldn't necessarily say that right now. I reckon baby steps.
No, I think that's what they want, though.
Yeah, that's what they want.
That's what they want.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think they will end up mid-table. Eddie Howe's obviously done a great job with them the back end of last season.
Yeah.
Grameres is still there, obviously, and they've got that quality in St. Maximin. Adding that stability with Sven Botman at the back, if he can hit the ground running. Nick Pope's obviously a very good goalkeeper. So Newcastle have got some work to do.
Yeah,
would
still,
think.
I still think there's going to be maybe 3 or 4
Yeah,
more.
there's got to be something big and shocking coming from Newcastle. I think.
Yeah,
I think that's one to watch for. That's a club to watch for me between now and the end of the transfer window.
Obviously,
they're going to do something outrageous.
They are, and obviously, as the window gets further on, you then start to see players who are not fancied by the managers. I'm looking at Real Madrid. I'm looking at Barcelona, and you might see them pick up somebody really good at really cheap.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with them. Obviously, we'll talk about that in a bit. I think. Didn't talk about the whole Frankie de Jong thing, did we? But we'll move on.
Yeah, let's not talk about Frankie de Jong.
Right, Nottingham Forest then. Nottingham Forest, they have gone for it.
They have. They really have.
They want to stay in this league. And
I
you
think
can
they will,
tell.
to be fair. I think they will.
They've made some... Again, these are not all mainstay names that you're probably going to know, but they have got a little bit of quality that they're starting to bring in. You know, they've spent money, mainly in Germany.
Yes.
But they've then bought Neco Williams from Liverpool, who we all know is a very talented footballer.
Yeah.
They've got Dean Henderson in goal, which I think might be one of their biggest signings.
There
most
was probably a
important
lot of clubs after Dean Henderson.
Yeah, got themselves a solid goalkeeper. And then with Wayne Hennessy, they brought in a very solid backup goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jesse Lingard's gone in on a free. Which I'm really surprised he didn't end up at West Ham. I think West Ham said they pulled out of it because they didn't want to get in a bidding war. So they probably offered Jesse a contract. Nottingham Forest said, okay, we'll give you this.
Yeah.
And then they said, well, we're not getting into it.
But from what I understand with the Jesse Lingard, it's a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
So it's a free hit for Nottingham Forest, essentially.
Yeah, and for Jesse in that respect.
And for Jesse,
isn't it?
yeah. If he does really, really well and they stay up, they'll say, do you want another year? Or, yeah, whatever. But yeah, no, great bit of business, Jesse Lingard. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lewis O'Brien, to be fair, as well.
Yeah.
Lewis O'Brien from Huddersfield looks like a decent player. Yeah.
Yeah. So if Jesse can hit the ground running like he did at West Ham, I think that'll be a massive boost of quality for Forest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Massive boost of quality for them.
As I say, I think they've got enough to stay up, Forest. I really hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm me, because it's Nottingham Forest, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just the history of the place. It's good to see him in and around the Premier League, for sure. Right. Oh, you were a bit surprised, weren't you, about Lewis Grabban leaving?
I was a little bit surprised by Lewis Grabban leaving. I thought he'd be all right in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Obviously, someone thought otherwise.
Obviously. But he was
I like Lewis Grabban, to be fair. He's normally one of my go-to strikers on Football
Manager. Right then, Southampton. They've done a bit of business.
They have.
Again, it's a very Southampton type summer for me.
Yeah.
They're bringing all these names of players you've never heard of, but I guarantee you a couple of them are going to be absolutely stellar signings. Other than Joe Aribo from Rangers, I don't really know anyone else. Obviously, Lavia they've brought in from City for 12 mil, but it might be another season of they've done really well.
Yes.
These are new players, has the scouting team that we know Southampton have done the business again. They'll be looking for a mid-table finish at this stage, definitely. looking at their business just to solidify themselves again.
Just not week 1, Southampton. All right, thanks.
Well, they are very up and down, very inconsistent, aren't they, Southampton? And that's what for them. That's what they need to kind of. Yeah. That's what they've got. That's what they've got to work on. Though they've got to work on this consistency thing. You can't go from losing 9-0 one week to winning 4-0 the next week all the time. No. If for nothing else, your fans' hearts. Nothing else.
Yeah, obviously keeping hold of James Ward-Prowse is a huge thing for him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I never really saw a move away for him.
I don't know. If someone comes up with the right number.
Yeah, but I don't know who. No one in England really. I don't think would be in for him. So if it would need to come from abroad, and it would need to be a big team, really, to be able to afford to get someone out of the Premier League.
60 million, for Ward-Prowse.
Yeah. So I don't see him moving because I don't see any of the top 6 really going for him. Tottenham would probably be the best place he'd fit, I think, inside the top 6, if I'm being honest. But you don't really need it. Tottenham don't really need anyone.
We've spent loads of money already.
Yeah, you don't really need anyone in that position anyway. So no. I don't think there was ever really a move for him at this stage. But we'll see. Who knows what can happen? Southampton will be looking to get that consistency though this season for sure.
Definitely.
Speaking of Tottenham. They've been busy.
We have been busy. We've been very busy.
Ivan Perisic has finally got his Premier League move.
Yeah.
He's waited about 10 years probably, but he's finally got it.
Bit of quality down the left-hand side. from
Yeah,
Ivan.
I mean,
Yeah.
the one question I think for Ivan Perisic is, has this come a little bit too late at 33 to adjust to the Premier League?
We'll have to wait and see on that one. He looked pretty good in pre-season. The couple of games he has played.
Yeah, we know he's got quality. We know he's got the ability, but has he got the stamina and the pace at 33 to be able to cope with the Premier League?
Yeah.
That's the one question mark for Perisic to answer.
Definitely,
he might smash it.
Yeah. Obviously, he looks pretty fit.
Yeah.
He's obviously been up and down quite a lot with Inter Milan over the years. Obviously, the pace of the Premier League, as you say, is a lot quicker than Italy.
Yeah.
Obviously, fingers crossed. It's a free transfer. There's nothing really to that. Is it a gamble? It's a little bit of a gamble, but it'll be one that might pay off.
Yeah, we'll see how the season goes.
I'll take the splinters out now after that one. Fraser Forster, obviously a backup goalkeeper. Galini went back to Atalanta.
Yeah.
So Fraser Forster's a safe pair of hands. Very tall man, as I've discovered.
Ticks the quota as well.
Yes, he does. Absolutely. Yeah.
Homegrown, that's what you see. That's what you see with a lot of clubs now.
Yeah, definitely. You do see that now.
Get the older English goalkeepers into your squad, out with the quota.
Yeah. Basuma, 25 million. That's a bargain.
Rising to 35.
Rising to 35. But yeah, that's an absolute bargain. I mean, if you think we're going to have Skip, Joyberg, Bentancur, and Basuma as the midfield four, or two of the four, we're fine in the centre of the park.
Yeah, it's good options.
Yeah. Richarlison, I was a bit worried about this one, but the more I thought about it,
I think he's a good signing.
The more I thought about it, the more
I fancied Richarlison. I've really liked Richarlison. I would have liked him at United, to be honest.
Yeah,
he's got that presence about him.
He has, and obviously he can play down the centre and he can play out wide, so he fills two positions for us essentially.
Yeah.
Obviously, if Kane needs a break, he can play down the middle, and he'll either play out on the left or the right. I would imagine he'll play out on the left.
Mm-hmm.
But he won't be playing anywhere this weekend. He's suspended.
Yeah, of course.
For the opening game. Lenglet's a good signing as well. I've always liked Clement Lenglet. Looking forward to seeing what he can do.
on loan.
Yeah.
Obviously, Barca trying to get their wage bill down.
Yeah.
So they can register players.
I don't think we're playing that too much of it, actually. Wage one.
Well, they must be playing a fair bit because Barcelona is trying to get that wage bill down so that they can actually register their two new players.
Yeah. And that might be a problem come the end of the window for them.
It could very well be.
Very well be a big
Which
problem.
is why they really need something to happen with Frankie de Jong.
Maybe. And a couple of others. Memphis Depay is another one that I've been hearing a little bit about.
Yeah.
And then... Sorry.
Yep.
Jed Spence. Down the right-hand side, I think we're probably going to lose Emerson Royale, I would have thought, from the right-hand side. Obviously, Matt Doherty played pretty well towards the end of last season before he got injured. Yeah.
Spence, we'll have to see what happens.
He looked
There'll
really
probably
good.
be a lot of loan movements.
Potentially, yeah. Obviously, we've let Stephen Bergwijn go. That's a bit of a disappointment. But he weren't getting first-team football, so you can understand that. And for the fee that we got for him, it's a bit of a no-brainer, really. Cameron Carter-Vickers has finally left the football club. He's a bit like Pereira, been out on loan for like 10 years.
Finally gets a move.
The big one for me, Dane Scarlett going to Portsmouth. I think that'd be a good loan deal for him. And Troy Parrott going to Preston. Seems like a decent one for him.
Yeah, I think Joe Rondon getting a move to Rennes for the season, actually.
Rodon's...
Well, he just wants the first-team football for the World Cup there, doesn't he?
I'm disappointed
that's
for
what
Joe.
he's after.
Because
he needs the first-team football leading up to the World Cup.
And
that's probably what's driven that.
And I'm disappointed for him because when he's played, and he's only played maybe a dozen games, when he's come on and when he's started the game, he's looked solid. I don't understand. But
that's probably what it is, though, isn't it? It's like he knows that Wales have got this World Cup coming up, and he wants to play regularly.
It's definitely something to do with that. Yeah.
And keep him.
But there's an option to buy as well. There's a 20 million option to buy.
Well, we'll see what happens with that then.
But no, I think we need maybe one more, maybe two.
I think you're being greedy. I think you'll be all right.
Well, we're talking about getting an attacking midfield player, not necessarily someone to play in the 10 position, but a creative player.
Yeah.
And I think we definitely do need that because we do lack a little bit of creativity in the four that I spoke about earlier.
Okie dokes. Well, we'll see how Tottenham get on.
I'm not being greedy. I want more.
You are being greedy. Shush. Right. Top 4 will be the aim for Tottenham again this season.
Yeah. And I'll be happy to take 4th now, please. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm sure you would be. join the queue. Right, West Ham next. Done a bit of business. They've spent a bit of money. Made Alfonso Areola permanent.
Yep.
Then they brought Aguerd from Rennes for 30 mil.
Yep.
They'll be looking to make sure he settles in. A good defender will help them bolster at the back for sure.
Definitely, yeah.
That's one that they probably nicked off Newcastle. I think Newcastle were also interested in him. So hope he might have a bit about him. We'll see how he settles in. But I don't think defensively West Ham were necessarily that was their problem.
No, Samaka's the biggest one out of the ones that they've brought in so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
They need a centre forward, West Ham. Obviously, although the last time they went out and bought somebody big in Sebastian Haller, it didn't exactly work.
Well, no, but
I think this one might be a bit better for them.
They'll be hoping so.
Yeah,
they'll be hoping so
for
sure.
Definitely.
Obviously, they've brought the young Flynn Downs in.
Yeah, Downs is a good player.
Swansea.
Tidy midfielder.
Yeah, and he is a West Ham fan by all accounts.
Yeah, so you can't go wrong
West
there,
Ham
can
from.
Obviously, Mark Noble's left, so they've got to replace him with somebody, haven't they?
They need someone in there. Well, they got Declan. They got
Declan.
Yeah. A bit bad Declan Rice in there.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Declan Rice is going anywhere.
No, he'll be staying. I think he'll be staying put. West Ham. They had a very good season last season. They'll be looking for something similar, but they might just drop out of it. But it depends how they start. If again, I think they probably need another forward.
Yeah.
Of some sort across. Whether that's a support from Antonio, whether it's extra cover for Bowen and whatever. Yeah. But they've still got quality in that team, and I expect them to be pushing Europe.
Yeah, they'll be looking at top 8 again, West Ham.
Yeah, absolutely.
Last but no means least,
Wolves. We've got to your last Wolverhampton Wanderers, who have signed Hwang Hee-chan for 10 million. They've made that deal permanent from Leipzig. They've brought a young kid in from AFC Wimbledon. They've also brought a player in from Dorking Wanderers, Don Plank.
Go on the
Dorking.
And
they brought Nathan Collins from Burnley for 20. I tell you what, Burnley have done. Only thing I've learned about this is Burnley have done some great business in terms of getting transfer fees for their players this summer. And they had a good start, obviously, in the Championship at the weekend. So they'll be quite happy with their business, Burnley, the money they've got for the players that they probably knew they were going to lose anyway.
Wolves, not so much. I think they were hoping for more at the start of the season.
They need a bit more. They need some work.
They need numbers, Wolves. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, we know this. I think Jimenez is probably out injured again. Has he got another injury? I think to start the season.
Not sure.
I'm sure I read that somewhere.
That's bad news. And let's have Fabio Silva go to Anderlecht, which seems like an old one.
Yeah, they need to do a bit of work.
I'm sure Bruno Lage will be very happy come the end of the window.
It depends what they do. It depends what they do. Because I think Wolves, this could be a struggling season for Wolves.
It could be. It's certainly looking like a bottom half finish, isn't it?
Yeah, they were struggling at the end of last season, weren't they?
Yeah.
They started well, but then it drifted away from them. And I haven't really seen any improvement in what they've brought in. Obviously, Nathan Collins will add an extra number, but is he going to give you that quality?
Unless he can score 20 goals.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Exactly. So, it's going to be a bit of a struggle season for Wolverhampton this time around. So, yeah, that kind of gets us there. Right. A quick little prediction. Top 4 relegation.
Top 4. For me, the top 4 will be the top 4 that was the top 4 last season.
Oh, you're backing Tottenham?
I am backing us. Yeah.
I've got to back my boys, I'm afraid.
Of course you have.
I've got to back them. And I.
Yeah.
I think it will be City, Liverpool, Chelsea and United.
Yeah.
But don't count out the fact that I think if Chelsea don't get themselves sorted properly, it could be Chelsea that are the team that drop out the top 4, not Tottenham. Yeah. Arsenal obviously are in that conversation before the Arsenal fans start. We know what they're like.
Do we?
Leave us alone. And then my bottom 3.
Yeah.
My bottom 3. As I'm looking at it right now, this is not in any particular order. I think Wolves are in trouble.
Yeah.
I think
Bournemouth
and possibly Fulham.
Yeah. I would say that's quite close to what I was thinking. Yeah. Leeds will probably be in and around that, maybe.
Leeds have spent money, so they'll be hoping if they can all settle in. But I think don't count Brentford out of that fight, and I think Brighton could get dragged into it.
Yeah,
potentially again, depending on how their new players settle in.
Obviously Southampton as well.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So yeah,
It's
but
an
that's
open
what I'm
race.
going
It's
with.
an open race at the top and the bottom, really.
Well, after third place, third and fourth.
Yeah, third and fourth. Yeah,
Third and fourth.
after the first two. Yeah.
Yeah, they could finish in any order. I think City. Yeah, I can't go against it. I still think City will win the league.
As soon as they get Haaland banging in the goals,
Yeah, the league's in trouble.
we're all in danger. Yeah, we are really all in danger.
Absolutely. Okay, so up next then, we are going to introduce you to our Wonderkid this season, our follow-up. So if you didn't listen to the podcast last season, we chose a Wonderkid from Football Manager 2015 and followed their season. Last season, it was Gianluca Gardino. He didn't have the best of years. He didn't have the best of seasons. Ended up going up on loan. Ended up in a relegation fight.
But they won the relegation fight.
They did stay up. They did stay up, but he didn't really contribute.
No, he didn't.
He got COVID as well last season. Bad times. So this year, we're going to choose a player from Football Manager 2016. And Richard is about to tell you all about them.
So his name is Donis Avdija.
Avdija, yeah.
He is a Kosovan.
Yep.
He's currently plying his trade FC Zurich. He has only just signed for him. Literally.
In the Swiss Super League,
In
everyone.
the Swiss
It's a Super League. It's a Super League. Not to be confused with the horrible European Super League. This is the Swiss Super League.
No.
Yeah.
But he spent time at Schalke. He's been at Willem. He's been at Trabzonspor, Hearts, NM. He's been out in Cyprus. And he's been in Germany as well before settling in Zurich.
He's going to get all the goals and all the assists. I know he is.
He really is. I really hope he does.
He's gonna smash it. I'm sure. We've got
we've got faith.
Football Wonderkids are the way forward. We all know this. We all sign them when we're playing Football Manager for the first time in a season. We always go on, get the best YouTube videos, who's on, have a little look, find all the articles, who should I be buying? Young. Donis Avdija is one of them.
Yeah.
We're going to smash it.
Hopefully.
So yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up for this week. Shall we go through a quick look at the first fixtures of the Premier League season?
Oh, match day 1. You gotta love it. So we start the Premier League season on Friday night with Crystal Palace taking on Arsenal. Big job for Fulham on their return back to the Premier League. They're taking on Liverpool in the 12:30 kickoff on Saturday. Few games at 3 o'clock, including a Tottenham game, which is very bizarre. Bournemouth take on Aston Villa. Newcastle take on Nottingham Forest. Tottenham take on Southampton. Leeds take on Wolves before the 5:30 kickoff, which is Everton versus Chelsea. 3 games on Sunday. Leicester versus Brentford. Manchester United taking on Brighton on the opening weekend before the final game of the weekend. And what a game it is. West Ham taking on Manchester City.
Yes, it is going to be quite the start to the season, I think.
Well, I said to a friend the other day, I really hope Manchester City play better than they did on the opening day last season. Otherwise, West Ham may well win that.
Well, we will see. I want to thank you all for listening this week. If you're watching us on YouTube, please do like and subscribe. All those things so that you don't miss when we go out next week. You can tweet us as well if you want to get in touch with us about your club. You want us to mention something that you want to tell us about your opinions and stuff. Tweet us at Let's Football Pod is how you can do that. Or you can even email us again at new email address this season, by the way. That's letsfootballpod@gmail.com. We will be back next week with all the news from the first day of the Premier League season. So for now, hopefully we'll catch you all next week. All right.
Bye everyone.